blasts of air. Air sweepers deal no damage but are great at slowing the progress of air attacks. Now the air sweepers can only face one way at a time, but in between your defenses you can maybe rotate it to face a different type of direction of your choosing. And once again, this is unlocked at Town Hall 6. Air sweepers gain more pushing strength when upgraded. Now the pushback effect is the same regardless of the weight of the troops, aka the housing space or the physical size. However, the faster the troop moves, the faster it can regain the lost distance. So for example, the balloons are really slow, so if it gets pushed back, then they'll hurt a lot more as opposed to if a minion gets pushed back because a minion is really fast. But keep in mind, this new defense deals no damage at all. And also, it does not affect ground troops logically, but note that the healer, if it's healing ground troops, that healer will be pushed back just like the other troops. Now, think about it like this, guys. If you guys do think that this means RIP air attacks, not necessarily. There are ways to beat it, which we will show you in these upcoming raids. But here on your screen, you have sort of the Super Dragoon attack, which was made popular by the folks over at Supercell. So you can kind of see how you can try to effectively overcome this air sweeper, try to attack it from the sides. So this will be an interesting strategy based on where it's sort of facing. You want to try to attack it from the sides or even the back side so that you don't have to deal with the sort of pushback. Now, if a troop does get pushed back, the air sweeper does retarget onto a different troop, but usually it will return to the same target. But this just inevitably depends on which troop is the closest, whether it will retarget or not. Now, it gets definitely really interesting because if sort of the air troops are flying directly over the air sweeper, then different troops might get refocused and pushed back. Alright, so here on your screen you notice that the two air defenses got taken out and the dragons are starting to attack and approach the air sweeper from all different sides. So now it's starting to kind of retarget based on which troop is the closest. First it takes blows back the dragons on the right, then it blows back the dragons on the left. Sometimes it stays with the dragons on the left depending on, again, which units are the closest. And then now that rage spell is used to really try to advance on that air sweeper, but once it gets taken out, then the dragons have sort of free reign on the rest of the base, and then they can proceed with their attack. So this is a pretty decent and effective strategy if you guys want to kind of make a mental note of this when you do go against air sweepers. However, again, you can always attack from like the top side, top left, top right, and not have to worry about all of your troops getting pushed back. Alright, so now let's go ahead and look at the Balloonion strategy against the air sweeper. This is probably the attack strategy that is the most directly affected by the air sweeper. As you guys know, the balloons are really slow, like I said, so once they get blown back, it's going to be tough for them to sort of make their way throughout the rest of the base. So right now the minions are getting pushed back. Not a whole lot they can do. They are really fast though, so they can easily try to retarget the rest of the defenses, but that wizard tower does have a little bit more time to try to take out the rest of the balloons. So now here come a big swarm of balloons that the air sweeper is going to push back by some time, so then that the air defenses are still sort of targeting the balloons and the minions, and it's buying this defender a lot of time to take down the Balloonion army. So now, as you can see, the air sweeper tried to target the minions on the bottom right hand side, gets taken out by a balloon that kind of approached it from the other side, and then now the balloons all went down, and right now it looks like it's going to be a 0-star raid. So again, if you try to attack a base with an air sweeper, you probably want to try to attack from the direction opposite of where it's facing, so you don't have to deal with it, and then you can still do your Balloonion attack strategy. Now for the last clip, let's go ahead and see what the air sweeper does against all of the different types of air troops, and see what the effects are on them. So we have also a healer, and we also brought a P.E.K.K.A. to show what happens when the healer heals the P.E.K.K.A. and then gets pushed back. So here we have the balloons, as well as the minions for backup. So again, we want to try to simulate a Balloonion type raid, and then eventually we're going to try to drop the Lava Hound, the Dragon, and the healer. But as you can see, look at the Balloonion getting pushed back. Again, it's losing the attacker some time, and that air defense stays up that much longer to try to take out the rest of the Balloonion army. So again, the air sweeper does buy the defender some extra time. So it does sort of make sense that you want to put your air defenses sort of within range so that after the air troops do get blown back, the air defenses can still sort of target those air troops. So here comes the Lava Hound. Again, that kind of explodes, and then the Lava Pups and the minions do get blown back. So we're going to go ahead and see what the other troops sort of do when they get hit by the air sweeper, such as the healer as well as the dragon. So let's go ahead and drop the dragon. Again, it's a little bit slower than the minion, so it's going to take a little bit longer for it to sort of get closer to that air defense. So it gets pushed back. Again, it's buying that air defense some time, and by the time you know it, then that dragon pretty much just goes down. So again, it's a fairly effective defense. So now here we have a P.E.K.K.A. as well as a healer. So it does push the healer back, which does stop the healing for the P.E.K.K.A. because the distance is now too great for the healer to sort of heal that P.E.K.K.A. So I do think this air sweeper is going to revolutionize how attackers, or rather air attackers, approach their raids on various types of bases. And also, not only that, it's going to affect base layouts and how people position their air defenses as well as their air sweeper. But anyhow, guys, feel free to comment down below what your thoughts are on